Hello, nerds! Thank you for watching Generally Nerdy. This is your Week in Nerdom Gaming edition for the week of November 12th, 2018. This week in gaming, we've got some housekeeping to do, and then we're talking about the Game Awards, we're talking about Legend of Zelda, we're talking about all of the things, and then the intro.
Quiet on the set, rolling.
Hi, I am Bitsy Telek.
Hey, I'm Hale Appleman.
I'm Walter Kane.
I'm Rene Aubergenois. Odo on Deep Space Nine.
Michael Dorn, Lieutenant Commander Worf, Star Trek The Next Generation.
Come and see me and hear me and talk to me and listen to me talk about myself.
Hey man, this is Kevin Smith, often considered generally nerdy, and you are listening to what is often considered generally nerdy.
On Generally Nerdy.
You're listening to
Generally Nerdy.
Generally Nerdy.
Generally nerdy.
First thing, just to get it out of the way, in case you haven't seen the other videos posted this week, this is going to be the last week for the year that we get all 5 weekly videos. There will still be some of the Nerddom updates going forward, but until after the new year, it's going to be few and far between because traveling and holidays and birthdays and things is all going on right now. And I'm going to be working on updating some of the stuff, updating the intro, updating the bumpers, changing formats for the videos. All kinds of stuff is going on behind the scenes, and I just need the extra time to get all of that going. So that's where that is. That's where that all lies, and that's why you're not going to be seeing as much of me in the weeks to come. But that's not to say I'm going to be gone. So let's get into the news. First thing that we have on this week's list is the date for this year's Gaming Awards. It's been announced for December 6th. Nominees were announced on Tuesday, and since I filmed this on Sunday, I'm just going to put a rotating thing of nominees somewhere in this area, probably both areas. So, yeah, I'll update the nominees. Organizer Geoff Keighley, I think is how you would say that last name, Keighley, said that this year will have more announcements than ever before. Now, the biggest reason why I'm bringing this up, other than, this is the 4th year they've done it, so by definition, it should be bigger than the previous years because more people know about it, right? Anyway, but we were supposed to get a pretty big update with E3 that never came. We got teased. It just didn't happen. Mortal Kombat was supposed to be a thing at E3, and it really wasn't. So, are we going to get the Mortal Kombat update we were waiting for then? Is that going to happen now? Did Ed Boon and company need the extra time to give us something to see for the next Mortal Kombat 11? Or is it just going to be another year before we see a Mortal Kombat game? I super don't know what's going to happen. You never know with Ed Boon. But I'm passing this off to you guys, not just the Mortal Kombat side of it, but what games, what studios do you want to see games from? What games specifically do you want announced? Let's talk about that down in the comments section. I have a pretty decent list. I'm hoping we get a final launch date for Death Stranding as well. That's the other big one that I'm really looking forward to. But again, let's have that conversation down in the comments section. Next on the list, we're talking about Prima Games. Now, it is not lost on me that if you're watching this video right now on YouTube, then you very likely don't know what a game strategy guide is. It's very possible. Not saying you don't, not discrediting you for that, but for those of you that don't know, back before there was an internets, when you got a new game, you got a strategy guide. There were a couple of different companies that made strategy guides when I was a kid. I remember getting multiple Mortal Kombat 3 strategy guides because they had different information. Some of the information in one strategy guide was wrong, so you reference the other one and vice versa. So it was a market. There was a demand for such things. Well, now that the internet is a thing, everyone just puts it up on the up on the web anyway. And if you don't know how to find something, then there's a walkthrough on YouTube. So it's kind of killed the business of strategy guides, and so much so that Prima Games, a company that has been in existence since 1990, has now fallen victim to the internet. They're going out of business. They're closing their doors. I feel like this is another one of those sign of the times. I was just listening to Kevin Smith talk about how renting movies is no longer a thing. You can't find wonderful hidden gems anymore at the movie store because there isn't a movie store anymore. So this is kind of one of those kind of sign of the times things. Is this a bad thing? I don't necessarily know, because like I said, the information wasn't always official. There wasn't 100% complete kind of information in these strategy guides, whereas on the internet it takes you 2 seconds to find a better source. So that's one for the comment section. 2, will you miss having the strategy guide open in your lap? Is having the walkthrough and the codes or whatever on a computer screen or on your cell phone screen that much better? Let's have that conversation down in the comments. I feel like nostalgia definitely goes a long way. Still have a bunch of my Prima strategy guides. So yeah, just kind of an interesting sign of the times. Next on our list, though, we are definitely talking about The Legend of freaking Zelda. Nintendo has posted 2 different job listings in Kyoto, specifically name-dropping Zelda. One listing requires the applicant to be well versed in typography for the creation of dungeons, as well as level and conceptual designs for dungeons. It's a 3D computer generated or computer graphics designer. And then the other listing is seeking a level designer in general, be responsible for creating a living, breathing new world, including enemies, dungeons, and more. So I feel like this sounds like it might be a 3DS game based on that. To my less than ideal eyes, that sound, because so we have that new Mario game, right, where one screen is a 3-dimensional world that you're navigating, the other screen is a 2-dimensional platformer. I feel like maybe they're doing something similar for Zelda. And if not that, then at least they're migrating onto the 3DS. It's very rare that we get multiple Zelda games on a single system, unless it's like a Wind Waker situation, which also is a possibility. But for whatever reason, I'm feeling like this is a 3DS Zelda game, which could be freaking awesome. Who knows? But yeah, so in the not so near but also not so distant future, we will be getting some sort of new Zelda game. And then our last bit of gaming news this week, guys, is we talked about this again a few weeks ago. There was a rumor Microsoft was going to buy Obsidian. As of this week, it's happened. Microsoft has officially bought Obsidian. And I'm passing this off to you just like I did the first time we talked about this. What does this mean for the future of Microsoft's gaming? Do you think Obsidian is the missing link to get them to up on a higher? They're never going to overtake the market. That's just not going to happen. Too many. The Chinese and Japanese and Asian market effectively is too great for Microsoft to ever get the lion's share of the marketing. But is this going to be enough for them to be a bigger thorn in Sony's side? I think yes. I feel like this is going to be a very, very key purchase for them as a company, because one of the things that they are kind of lacking in for console exclusives is RPG gaming, and Obsidian has made arguably one of the best RPGs in recent console history in Fallout New Vegas. So what does this mean for any sort of potential Fallout spin-off properties that we might be getting, since Obsidian was kind of the go-to for Bethesda? definitely that's another one that's worth talking about down low in the comments, and I feel like this is going to be a good payoff for Xbox fans. But that's just me, and that's where we're ending this week's gaming episode, guys. What did I miss? What should we talk about next week? Well, in 2 weeks, 3 weeks, whenever we're coming back. Let me know in the comments down low. If, though, you want to go deeper in the conversation, jump over to the website, generallynerdy.net. That is the place that you can find all of the freebies, all of the social medias, all of the Nerdy Store links. Everything is up on generallynerdy.net. Or there's a Patreon page, patreon.com/generallynerdy. Everybody knows how Patreon works now. We have 4 tiers on my Patreon. Lowest tier is just $1, and you still get more content for that $1. Come the new year, there will be lots more on the higher tiers over on the Patreon, so stay tuned over there, patreon.com/generallynerdy. If you're new to this channel, though, click the subscribe button. If you like this episode, click the like button. If you're falling behind on your nerd news and you want to catch up, then you can click or tap that box right there to the left of my face to do that. But before we go and do all of the things and click those boxes and go all the places, guys, always remember that if it's generally nerdy, it's probably here.